Did you know that nearly 75% of property managers still rely on manual processes and spreadsheets to manage their portfolios? Welcome to the Mind Renovation Nation show, brought to you by Red Maples, your go-to source for institutional style property management of small multifamily rentals. I am your host, Nathan Bush. In each show, we share with you real life lessons from our real estate experience. We invite industry experts, innovators, and influencers to explore the challenges and opportunities facing small multifamily real estate investors. We designed this show to answer the questions you have about researching your market, setting up effective management systems, and maximizing your returns. And if you want more of this type of resource, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel or head over to www.nathanbushmba.com/subscribe. Check out our resources in the links in the description. And today we're going to be talking all about technology, the digital edge, the technological innovations in property management. If this is interest to you, you're going to want to hang on. Today's show is going to be a great one. I've put together a little bit of information, and if everything works out right, I think I even have an AI demonstration for you that we might be able to do by the end of the show, which will be great. And I'd love to be able to share that AI demonstration with you if everything works out properly. So sometimes when you use the internet like this, you guys know that the internet makes its own decisions in the way that things are going to be handled. So we're going to do that. Along the way, if you have questions in today's show, whether it's about technology or about property management or even about real estate investing in general, go ahead and put those in the comments. And if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and share who you are and where you're from in the comments. This helps me to be able to identify and speak directly with you. Otherwise, I feel like I'm just talking to a camera. And so I want to make sure that you, the audience, know that I'm speaking directly with you. And so if you're here, let me know in the comments. All right, cool. Guys, today we're talking all about tech and innovation. Before we get into that, I want to make sure I take a second and thank my sponsor, Red Maples, your go-to source for institutional style property management of small multifamily rentals. If you want to understand your portfolio better, what's going on, how to be more productive, maybe you're at 25 or 30 units now and you're just overwhelmed and busy and you don't know what in order that even going to look like with property management. Most property management companies won't even put together the information we're going to for a charge for you, much less for free. And we do it all at red-maples.com/assessment. If you need an assessment of your entire portfolio, knowing what that looks like with property management, we do the full thing at red-maples.com/assessment. So go check that out. And now for the show. All right, guys, Doc, the end of Back to the Future. He, in the iconic scene in that first movie, he's prepared to take Marty McFly to the future. And he says this: the roads we're going, we don't need roads. He's speaking directly to Marty. And he's telling him the roads where we're going, we don't need roads. Why is he saying this? What is going on? Well, he's talking about going into the future. And today's show is all just like that. We're going to talk about the innovation, the future. We don't need no stinking roads. We need what these technological innovations are going to do for our organization. And so we're going to talk all about that today. So roads where we're going, we don't need roads. And that's what we're going to do today. Now, let's talk about some typical challenges with traditional property management companies. These are the things I believe that just frustrate the ever-living out of you when you turn your property over to a third-party property manager. The first thing that you might feel or that you might have some difficulty with is you're giving up a sense of control. So you're going to lack maybe some controls that you feel. And today's show, I hope with the technological innovations, you begin to understand or have a better understanding of how you don't have to give up controls if we have good technology platforms in place in order to be able to help you be able to achieve your real estate investment goals. The second thing is maintenance costs. A lot of investors, they get in this habit of trying to find the most affordable ways to do things within real estate investing. And so today's show is all going to be about how technology can help you with these maintenance costs that you feel that are rising and what to do about those things. And what can technology do for you? Well, utilizing the right technological platforms can improve communication. So if you've had fears with your property management organization in the past of losing this control, increasing maintenance costs, or maybe the fact of a lack of communication, today's show is going to significantly help you. I know a number of real estate investors who at first they were trying to invest in real estate. They were trying to use third-party property managers, and they just lost this overarching sense of control. And whenever they turn their property over, their assets, their baby, the things that they've grown part-time on the side, maybe they had a full-time job, and now they're at the point where they're trying to do this real estate investing deal, and they can't do everything. They can't get to everything, and they're starting to lose efficiencies in the ways that they used to do things. They turn it over to a third-party property manager, and I have heard horror story after horror story where the investor's goals and the property management company's goals are not aligned. Well, that's not what this show's about today. That's not what this show's about today. I've also heard stories of people who have turned their properties over to a property management company, and maybe they used to be able to get things done, let's say a water heater replacement done. And let's say that in St. Louis, they were paying close to $1,200 to have their water heater done. They turn it over to a property manager, and now all of a sudden it's $1,700, $1,800 in order to get that water heater replaced or repaired. And these things, there are definite reasons why I know a lot of people have some concerns about utilizing traditional management organizations, or maybe this last one here, the communication. I've heard stories of that. I had an investor who I was on a call with just the other day, and they were telling me that they would love to be able to utilize third-party management services. But the problem is that the only time they hear from the management company is when there's a massive catastrophe, and the management company is, they hardly ever speak to them or communicate with them, and they don't know how to get a hold of their manager. And there's some communication challenges that go within these organizations. And so that's why they had concerns about even utilizing a third-party manager. It wasn't the lack of control or the maintenance costs that they were concerned about, but they were concerned about this piece called communication. Well, today's show, we're going to share with you how, if the property management organization that you're working with, or maybe this is your own organization, maybe you need to improve your control in your organization, maybe you need to reduce some maintenance costs within your organization, or maybe you need to improve the communication within your company with yourself and the tenants. All these things can be done with the use of technology. Technology is what supports this. And I'd like to be able to introduce you to the ways that we do this and how we handle this. I know some investors have fears of handing over management to a company because this means they lose control over making investments and decision-making. And at least with our organization, I don't know about anybody else's management company, but I know at Red Maples, we actually give this control back over to the owner. We take the burden of the work off of their shoulders, and we utilize programs like Buildium Property Management. One of the cool things that we know, because we've been doing this for years, is that organizations like Buildium, whenever you use their software package, they'll give you a generic set of what's called general ledger codes. And so these general ledger codes are the way that you categorize an expense. I don't want to bore everybody today on this show talking about accounting, but there is some interesting things that this software, when you can utilize this software properly and put custom GL codes in, like what we have done, you can begin to do things for investors as a management organization, like separate out their maintenance cost from their reno costs, or separate out their turnover costs from the ongoing repair costs. So you can get an accurate depiction of what these costs look like within your investment. And so it's really important from an investor standpoint that you actually gain control and have better understanding of your financials, so that when you go to refinance your 25 or 29 or 35 unit apartment community or scattered site portfolio that you're trying to deal with, you've got accurate information about what's going on. Because what are those people going to look at? They're going to look at, what is the income? What is the expenses? What is the occupancy rates, right? What is your collection rates? You've got to be able to provide this information to them in order to get that loan to refinance. Or what are you going to be doing? You're going to be selling off assets. And so that's what utilizing technology can do for you in a property management software platform like what we utilize with Buildium. You're able to do these specific things. One of the other benefits that gives you a little bit more control as an owner is the owner's portal through a software program like Buildium. You can log into your accounts. You can see what's going on with collections, maintenance. You can pull these reports on your own. You've got access to your leases. This is like having an entire team going out and doing a whole bunch of work for you And it's all happening automated behind the scenes. And then you can watch your accounts. You can see what's actually happening with your investments. You can make investment decisions with your property manager within our organization. And so technology drives these types of things. And if you're not using software programs like Buildium, then you have a problem. I have a lot of property investors who tell me, well, I still run this out of QuickBooks, or I'm doing this out of Quicken, or I'm running all this stuff off of spreadsheets. And I even know property management organizations that use free different pieces of technology like Tenant Cloud. And these things are not terrible. But they're just not going to give you the control that you need as an organization as you continue to scale. And modern platforms like the software program that we use, Buildium, can help give you a sense of better control for your investment. Here's the second thing that we talked about. I told you that would be a problem for real estate investors with utilizing third-party property management, and that's maintenance costs. Well, not when a management company utilizes technology properly. What does technology allow you to do that other ways of doing maintenance doesn't? Well, it allows you to analyze data. It allows you to track trends and allows you to be able to identify and see where the actual root cause of different issues are coming from. If you're an investor and you care about this at all, it's not that you just want to invest in real estate and when a work order's called in, you just want it to be taken care of. You actually you want to be able to see the trends. You want to be able to understand your property values. You want to be able to understand your investment strategies. Technology has come a long way in the ability for us to be able to do this. One of the problems that we have found with just in general with tenants is that they will call a work order in to a management organization, and then that management organization won't get the phone call. Even though the tenant said they talked to somebody, there was no conversation that apparently ever took place. And so what ends up happening in those events? You guys know? Well, the work doesn't end up getting done, and then the property builds up additional deferred maintenance that needed to have been taken care of immediately, but it can't, and so the cost continues to grow. When you have the ability for tenants to log in to their portal through an app and submit their work order and upload photos about what's going on, you can diagnose, troubleshoot, and treat a number of issues before even sending out a technician. And so by having the proper technology platforms in place and utilizing some of these new technologies that have come out, you have the ability for tenants to submit their work orders to make sure that your organization is actually receiving the work orders that are being submitted, and for those things to be able to be tracked and done quickly. Here's another thing that technology allows you to be able to do. You're able to help reduce turnover costs because you're able to see what's going on inside of these properties, and you're able to document the things that need to be done inside the property and not make multiple trips back with maintenance technicians later on inside the property. Wouldn't it be wise, I don't know about you, but from efficiency standpoints, doesn't it make sense to take care of all of the maintenance issues that you could possibly take care of to button up the property before you put a new tenant into your property? Because if you send a maintenance technician back over to that property after you've renovated it, that's a cost every single trip that has to be made out there. There's fuel that has to be put in somebody's truck. They have to go over and look at the issue. They need to go get parts for the situation. By utilizing the proper technology, and there's technology tools out there right now that we utilize like Happy Inspect, when we go through a property, we can identify all of the different issues that are going on within that property and reduce the likelihood of maintenance tickets that are going to be put on with tenants later on. And so utilizing these different technologies are extremely important within your organization in order for you to be able to control costs and get things in line and hit certain goals so that you can achieve the investment goals that you have for yourself. All right. How about this one? Concerns about poor communication. Well, I told you about how the efficiencies improve with the communication with tenants because they can submit their work orders online. But what's cool is when you have the right technology platforms, and they're out there right now, whether that's Buildium, Appfolio, Propertyware, these are a number of different tech property management softwares that are out there that companies are adopting and taking in. When you have the right technology partner and the right platform, you can communicate back and forth with tenants back and forth on that work order about what's going on. There's a really fancy software program out there, and if your software doesn't have these capabilities in it, you can get a copy of this program called Property Meld. And that Property Meld program will allow you to communicate back and forth with tenants on that work order, back and forth with vendors on that work order, and your property manager can communicate back and forth with the investor on that work order. And so having the right communication in place speeds that communication up, because as things are taking place, as things are progressing, and you're in that work order working already, might it be proper to communicate with all of the proper resources and places that you need to communicate in order to achieve those goals? So what does traditional property management then look like versus the challenges that are faced by you as small multifamily investors? Okay. So let's take a property management organization that is currently a little bit smaller, and maybe they're working through property management through different apps and tools and resources online. Maybe they're using Tenant Cloud. And so when they go to screen a tenant, are they using a third-party screening agency that just gives them an overall score? It might. They might just be pulling credit bureau reports, trying to identify what's going on with tenants. Let's see. What else are some of the traditional property management? How about paper tickets? Somebody calls a ticket in and they're physically handing a work order to a maintenance technician to go out on the property to resolve an issue, or they're physically handing a paper work order ticket to the maintenance tech to drive to the property and take care of that issue. And then when it's done, it's signed off on and turned back in. I know you're thinking, Nathan, I don't know any property management company that still uses paper tickets. It's interesting because just 2 years ago, I was working with an organization that had their property management company was using paper work orders and paper tickets. How about this other one? How about tenant rent collection? If you're trying to collect rent through Stripe, or you're trying to collect rent through, how about like Facebook Marketplace? Come on now. Like, does that present a reasonable solution for your tenants? Does that make them feel safe in paying you that rental money when you're saying, send me money on Cash App? Like, you've got to be able to have proper systems in place for tenants to be able to make their payment. How about the ability for a tenant to be able to take cash to a local popular retail place like a Walmart or a CVS, and then turn that cash over at the drawer there, get a receipt for their stuff, and then your property management company has your rent in hand? See, these are all different things that are going on. If your tenants are still paying you with money orders, or paying your property management company with money orders, your property management company is logging thousands of hours a year putting deposits into the bank account, and you're being charged for that. They're not focused on actually doing management work. They're focused on putting a deposit into the software system. And so by having these proper tools in place, you can now start to automate your rent collections and have tenants pay through their proper portals online, and it improves efficiencies within your business. Money shows up in your account. You're collecting more revenue than ever before. You're achieving your goals as an investor. You're able to go out and buy more properties. You're able to download the financial statements that you need. You're able to see the difference between construction costs and see the difference between maintenance costs. Heck, you're able to get tenants that are screened for your property properly, that are integrated within software, so this isn't taking a whole bunch more time. And you're able to see things as a property manager within the software platform, like their rental history. Do they owe previous apartment communities? You can see criminal history. Are they a felon moving into the property? Then you're not just searching this on CaseNet. You're verifying the information based upon Social Security numbers and all of the information within the particular technological platform that's out there. And the crazy thing is that these platforms that do all these different things have to talk together. Happy Inspect has to integrate with your property management software if you're going to use that platform. Otherwise, it becomes cumbersome and burdensome. If you're trying to subscribe to all these different technologies and pay for all these different technologies, and they all don't talk to each other, you have to log into this one and log into that one, and then you have to download the information out of this platform and upload it to that platform. This can be significant amount of hours. And so this is what technology does for your organization. When these things are integrated and they work properly, then when you have a small multifamily rental and you have work orders in multiple locations, this can be managed from a centralized location that reduces your operating costs and allows that manager to focus on the profitability of your organization, not sifting through papers and trying to find the missing work order. Guys, technology matters when it comes to investing in small multifamily rental real estate. And so, with that said, one of the other ways, if you can't use technology to automate something, is to utilize a virtual assistant. And at Red Maples, we do utilize virtual assistants to seamlessly almost automate things that can't be automated. And what do virtual assistants do? Well, they're an outsourcing organization at BBC Global Services, and they allow you, the real estate investor, to focus on your superpowers, and they do all of the administrative work on the back end. So if you need a virtual assistant, if you're looking to outsource part of your operations, or just need to have a conversation about what can be outsourced, go to www.bbcglobalservices.com and get a free no obligation, free quote on what a virtual assistant would look like in your organization. The cool thing about BBC Global Services, guys, that we really like at Red Maples is that they go out and find somebody internationally who is affordable for you, that meets all of your criteria. Maybe part of your criteria is you want them on the phone, so they need to be able to speak clear English. Maybe the part of the criteria is they got to have some real estate experience in their background. And so they go and do the recruiting. They don't only just do the recruiting, they also do the management of that staff member. They also provide daily reports. And so there's a lot of things that BBC Global Services adds that's beyond just adding a virtual assistant. I highly recommend you go check them out if you're in real estate and you're looking for a virtual assistant to help you. All right, so let's talk about some emerging technologies. Let's talk about property management software for a second. Let's talk about these different features that are important to you. Let's talk about smart home technology, and let's talk about virtual tours and digital leasing, because these are the trends. This is where it's going. What software programs do you currently use right now as an investor? How are you keeping track of the money? How are you keeping track of the tenants? How are you keeping track of renewals? How are you keeping track of the work orders? How are you keeping track of your turnovers? Is all this being done on a whiteboard? I know you can do it that way. I've done it that way before, but how are you doing it? There's a lot of different software platforms that are out there. I've tried a number of them. One of the things, I used to use Yardi, was one of the software platforms that I used. And you can use Yardi. It's extremely expensive. They have their own proprietary coding, so it's not like SQL. You can't go in and just make a change. You've got to use their programmers if something needs to be done. And I was on the director with a very high up level person from Yardi one time and told me, well, Nathan, it's just one more screen. Well, that shows you the difference between Yardi and myself. I was wanting certain things to be on one screen so I could see it all in one location, in one place. And the director, very high up level person at Yardi, told me, well, Nathan, it's just one more screen. Look, if you manage large, complex accounting scenarios and you need a platform like Yardi, there's a place in the market for it. I just don't know that if you have small multifamily rentals that you want to scale with an organization. Maybe you do down the road, but as of right now, from what I've seen from their platform, I don't know that that's the software platform that we would choose in order to scale your investment operations. How about this one? How about Propertyware? The cool thing that I liked about Propertyware when I used it was it gave you a variety of different multiple fields that you could create custom reports around these independent fields that you were allowed to create within Propertyware. And so for St. Louis, that was really good because we were able to track things like municipal inspections and different things like that within the Propertyware platform. One of the things that I had found too that I liked about Propertyware, it allowed for portfolio management, right? So from an accounting standpoint, you could have a portfolio expense or an independent property expense. And so that was kind of cool. Those were unique features beyond what AppFolio had, because in AppFolio, we were constantly transferring money back and forth between properties. When I used AppFolio, it lacked capabilities and work order functions. I think they've gotten a little bit better since then. And what I also loved about AppFolio, though, whenever we used it, was AppFolio allowed you, I mean, you could take somebody who was novice at property management. They didn't have to know much about property management, and it was almost a little bit intuitive to help with the training and onboarding of new staff. So that's what I did like about AppFolio. I also did not like that AppFolio had its own rental comps that were within the software program, because it was only pulling from, at the time, it was only pulling from other AppFolio users. And so I felt like that it was skewing property comps when I was utilizing AppFolio's software feature that they were trying to automate rental comps through. So those are just some tools and tips of what I thought and felt about these other software platforms. They all utilize the ability to have an owner's platform where your owners could log in and see what was going on with their properties. So those owner platforms were nice. And they had a lot of integrations within the software functionality itself that allowed you to speed up and to make things more efficiently. So if your property management company isn't using one of the platforms or management softwares that I just named, you probably need to consider the property management company that you're utilizing. And if that's yourself, maybe get with a company that has one of these software platforms. Okay, there's another pitch for Red Maples. How about this? Smart home technology. As we're talking about emerging technologies, one of the things that life is getting more efficient around is this smart home technology. And it's a big trend in 2023, and it will continue into 2024. What are the energy management tools that you're utilizing on your property? What are some of the security features? And what's making your property more efficient for the tenants? I know that one of the hot items right now is the programmable thermostat that people can have an app to their phone to adjust the temperatures and regulate the condition of the property within their when they're not there. And so I love this feature. Another big feature that a lot of that has been helpful for my family and for tenants is the app on your phone for the garage door to make sure that the garage door went down. Look, large apartment communities, small apartment communities, and single family homes, if you have garages, one of the selling features that might get somebody to lease your property over the next is the fact that they can control their garage that they're going to be leasing from you from their cell phone, that you're going to give them app access capability to be able to control that garage door. Security features, other efficient management features are extremely important. Like, how are you controlling the use of water within your properties? If your properties don't have water efficient heads on the shower heads that are helping to reduce the water bills within properties, maybe you're overpaying for water within your location. Or water detection programs, right? The ability to identify quickly and remotely identify whether there's some type of sewer backup or some type of water issue creeping into the basement of a home or a program. These are all just different features and tools that people right now in the smart home technology space are connecting with Wi-Fi that are allowing them to be more efficient and manage these things remotely at scale. The last thing I would tell you, a different trend in technology, is programs like Tenant Turner or Rently that will allow you to do virtual tours and digital leasing. And so you can utilize these tools to streamline your process. Now, one of the things that's extremely important if you're going to utilize a tool like this is don't allow yourself to get bogged down with the hundreds of leads that are coming in and no responses. You've got to build automated tools in place to help you get responses to people that sound personalized. One of the beauties and benefits that Red Maples gets from working with myself is that I'm very well versed in marketing and have studied marketing. I've worked under and read books and been to training programs from people like Russell Brunson. I've studied a variety of different marketers like Dan Kennedy. And these people over a period of time have trained my brain on what people are looking to see and to hear and how to communicate with people in a way that gets them to be open and more friendly with you. And so whether it's automated or not, it still needs to sound personalized. There needs to be a personal connection in your copywriting that you're doing for your responses if you're going to be automated in your lead follow-up. And so these things are all important. And you've got to be able to have processes within your organization and utilize these technology platforms that automate these processes, because you have to make sure that you follow up with every lead. I don't know how many management companies are sitting out there right now with thousands and thousands and thousands of leads sitting in their inbox for your rental property that you have with that management organization, or your rental properties that you have with that organization, and they've never been followed up with, never been spoken to. If that's you, please reach out to me, reach out to Red Maples, and let us help you work through getting your properties leased, getting them back under control, stabilized, so that you can continue to scale your investment organization. With that said, I'd like to bring up my next sponsor. My next sponsor is Web Insurance. You can go to www.webinsurance.com and let Web Insurance be your guide. They can provide you your current coverages. They can review those, and they can make sure that you have current policies in place that are the most affordable prices. And what their clients love about them at Web Insurance is that every year they proactively shop your insurance, because they're a broker, to ensure that you are truly with the most affordable carrier with the most appropriate coverages. From contractor to real estate investor, let Web Insurance be your guide. Visit www.webinsurance.com to get a quote on your insurance. All right. Thank you, Web Insurance, for sponsoring my show. I can't do these shows continuously and consecutively for as long as I have without these sponsors. They help make this time worth the time delivering the content each and every week and cover the cost of the show so we can put these things together and make them great for you guys. So if you wouldn't mind, please support the sponsors that sponsor this show. All right. So let's continue on. Let's talk about the future of property management. The future of property management. There are trends that are emerging in property management. Smart technology is one of those trends. People are looking for amenities within the organization, within your property. They're looking for amenities that are shareable amenities, cool things, hip things, trendy things. They're looking for, when it comes to the future of property management, one can only imagine the things that people are going to be looking for. Also, one can only imagine how quickly and effortlessly you should be able to control and scale and communicate with things while at the property. Like, one of the frustrations that most property management companies have is that when you're at the property trying to upload photos to whatever software platform or package that you're looking for, a lot of property management companies, their people have to take the photos, go back to a place, and then try to upload all their photos into their software platform or packages. I could see a day where no matter where you're at any time, you could snap a photo. It's going to show up in the software program. Things become seamless. You can communicate back and forth. The owners can see in real-time dashboards on what's going on with turnovers. They can communicate with their property managers almost seamlessly and instantly, because that future is almost here today that I'm describing. When we talk about AI and we talk about the benefits of AI, I have got some great ways in order to utilize AI. Do you guys all use AI to write your property descriptions for you right now? If you're not using AI to write your property descriptions for you right now, you're probably missing out on some efficiencies that you could be doing for yourself. I'm going to pull up ChatGPT here, which is just an AI program that I use. And I'm going to give you guys a prompt in the show today. Would it be cool if you guys got a prompt that helped you to be able to write your property descriptions more effectively and efficiently from a marketer's standpoint? Well, so what is the prompt that I want to give you today? I'm going to pull up the full screen here so that you guys can see this. I got ChatGPT. I'm going to blow this up, and I'm going to put the prompt into ChatGPT so that you guys can see the prompt that I'm going to use. The prompt is role, insight, statement, property address, number of beds, number of baths, amenity, utilities, description of the surrounding area, personality, and experiment, right? One of the interesting things about ChatGPT is that it was built by programmers. And so by understanding how the programmers built the program, you are much better at getting out the output from putting in a proper input when you do this correctly. And so here's a really, really cool function within ChatGPT. So let's walk through this, the role. So the role is you're a professional copywriter for a property management business. The insight. Red Maples is a property management company that is built with the tenant in mind. We support technology and property for small multifamily rentals. To be clear, we have a number of single-family homes and small apartments. Statement, I need you to write a property description. Address, we're going to call it 123 Street. St. Louis, Mo 63376. That's, let's call it 633-63121. St. Louis, Mo 63121. All right. This is going to be a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home. Let's make sure that I need you to write a property description for a single family home. Property address is 123 Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63121. The number of beds is 2. Number of baths is 1. I'm going to utilize some amenities and some fake surrounding areas just to show you what the capabilities of this program are. You have got to actually use the correct surrounding areas to whatever your property or zip code is. All right. So the amenities are smart home with thermostat that can be controlled from your phone, central AC and heat, washer and dryer hookups, fenced-in yard, hardwood. The utilities are gas, electric, water, sewer, trash. The surrounding area, we're going to call it the iconic Del Mar Loop. And I put in a bunch of notes here about the Del Mar Loop that includes things like live entertainment at the pageant or re-owned concert venues, for diverse array of live performances and live events. Renters can enjoy live music, entertainment, blah, 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 Metrolink access, and those types of things that are local to the Loop. I want the personality to be professional, yet friendly and approachable. And I want them to, the experimentation level, do not violate fair housing. All right. So let's go ahead and plug that in here and let's see what ChatGPT comes up with as the property description for 123 Street in St. Louis, Missouri. All right, so welcome to your smart home. Nestled in the vibrant neighborhood near iconic Del Mar Loop, this delightful 2-bedroom, 1-bath residence offers a perfect blend of comfort and convenience. At Red Maples, we prioritize your living experience, ensuring every aspect of your home reflects quality and thoughtfulness. Smart home features for modern living, control at your fingertips, effortless comfort, convenience inside, outdoor serenity, exceptional utilities for hassle-free living, and then explore the neighborhood. It's going to give it some notes, and then it's going to give a little brief bio. It says, at your professional yet friendly home partner at Red Maples, we believe in creating spaces that resonate with both quality and warmth. Our team is dedicated to ensuring your home is not just a house, but a foundation of your life's best movements. Discover the difference at Red Maples. Come and see why our smart, comfortable home at 123 Street is not just a residence, but a stepping stone to a life well lived in St. Louis. Red Maples, where technology meets comfort in the heart of St. Louis. What a great property description that ChatGPT came up with for our help and overall support of our rental portfolio. So you can do the same thing. You can utilize AI and big data on property management. The cool thing with programs like ChatGPT now, we can take maintenance costs, plug them in, and give ChatGPT a spreadsheet and let it analyze the data so that it knows what specifically is going on and what we should be looking at. And then that gives us the ability, at least a starting place to start to dig into if there's different challenges that are going on with large institutional style portfolios. And so this is what you're going to want to do, guys. This is where technology is going. This is what we're going to accomplish in property management as we move into the next wave from a property management perspective. There is wisdom from King Solomon, and this verse in the Bible emphasizes the importance of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge in building and establishing some value within your properties. This is the Bible verse that I pulled this entire show from. From those of you that know and follow me, I run a Bible study. And so in that Bible study, I'm constantly seeing the Word of God, and it shares with me different information and different understandings on how I can best help you, the real estate investor. And one of the principles I pulled out of the Bible was wisdom. By wisdom, a house is built, and through understanding, it is established. Through knowledge, its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. And so that's the principle that this technology show was all based around today, was the concept of wisdom. You build the house. So you gotta have some wisdom. It's got to come from somewhere. You got to know what the outcome is. You got to know what the end result is. You got to have an intention. There's a lot of things that goes into wisdom, but you build your house, you renovate the project with wisdom. Understanding, it can become established. So when you have understanding, then not only did you have the wisdom and forthright to build the house, but now you have an understanding on what to do once you have built that house. And then knowledge, its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. The more knowledge you have about this stuff, the more revenue, the more gold, silver, rare treasures that you can make off of investing in real estate. And so thank you, King Solomon, for the principle that guided this whole show. And thank you, God, for putting it in the Bible. All right. Again, I got to make sure that I'm thankful of my sponsor, Red Maples, who helps put this show together. If you're in need of an assessment of your property, you need somebody to go in and take a look at all these different things and make sure that property management would even be right for you. Other organizations would charge you for this. We do this free assessment at www.red-maples.com/assessment. This will help you have a better understanding of what's going on with your rental portfolio just in general. And with that said, guys, that wraps up the episode. And that Renovation Nation brings us to the end of another episode. I'm Nathan Bush, your guide on this journey of real estate business growth. Remember, just like plants need the right air, soil, and care, our minds need the right environment to build a life of purpose, passion, and growth. Don't forget to get your citizenship, though, to Mind Renovation Nation. How do you do that? Well, you can follow us and subscribe to my email list. At www.nathanbushmba.com/subscribe, and hit subscribe on YouTube. This helps you stay updated with the latest episodes. If you love today's mind workout, share it with a friend who's passionate about real estate business growth. And they can join us every Friday at noon when I go live and do the show Mind Renovation Nation for you. Join me next time for more insights, inspiration, and of course, a bit of nation building spirit that drives us to create a community united by shared values, purpose, and a commitment to leaving a lasting legacy. Until then, keep building and growing, and let's lead more than 25,000 souls to a life of values-based investing. Our journey at Mind Renovation Nation, we often talk about professional growth, ethical leadership, and making impactful choices. Values-based investing is an extension of that philosophy. It is about being a steward of not only our finances, but our values and vision for the future. So I'm signing off from the heart of St. Louis. Stay blessed, stay inspired, and remember, every day is a chance to renovate your mind. Bye, guys.